Hey, I've just got back a few days from a deep dive meditation retreat in the snowy woods of Estonia, and it's been another adventure, and yeah, feels like it's been significant and meaningful, and further emphasizes to me yeah, why it is that I've started to bring meditation into our circling practice so strongly, and the potential of these two practices together. And it's been a real eye opener. And um, yeah, it was about a year ago that I started to see and was well guided into how meditation is not just a practice of awakening, and um, it's not just waking up to our consciousness or witnessing our experience, but it actually can be really powerful in coming into our humanness, and and discovering just how much we've been harmed and affected or experienced trauma in our lives, and how that lives in the body, and being able to integrate that harm or that traumatic effect, and and really have the awareness of how that's working. And maybe the thing that has really touched me is also how meditation can put me and everyone in touch with the natural way the body can heal itself or integrate experience, or um, it's really like a it's almost like organ organismic, or a primal kind of way we we can really yeah learn and understand, and also support ourselves in meeting life, and being able to deal with life in a more truthful and connected way. And I don't know if that's like news to anyone else. Like for me, for years, I've been a regular meditator, but I struggled with the practice. I'd found it a bit. It seemed a bit hit and miss to me, or like with circling, I always, every time I did it, I found I always had insight. I always felt more connection. It was always like bringing me into a profound sense of presence and aliveness. And with meditation, I didn't have that experience the same. And and partly that troubled me. It was like, how come I can access so much of myself and so much intimacy and connection? And with meditation, sometimes I was experiencing that, and then often I'd be experiencing kind of like resistance and struggling with the time, and um, getting into a uh, kind of mini war with my own thinking, um, and noticing a strong pull to seeking, enlightenment or higher states of consciousness or mystical experiences. And because this was so much part of my circling practice, also it added to that kind of what I see now as actually a self pressure, and um, and on a deeper level, a self negation, or um, yeah, a not well, simply a non-acceptance or a non-surrender. And it's been so refreshing and so inspiring that now meditation has changed or evolved into a real nourishment for myself. and it's different from circling. I still don't sit and get those experiences so readily as I would in circling, of mystical or intimate, or suddenly finding an emotional experience that was unconscious. Um, but it's more like a visceral, primal, real, like connection with myself, really discovering where I really am with myself, and even resistance becomes something I can engage with, and the fact that I can also feel these parts of me that I'm not usually conscious of, that are, in pain or tension or some kind of distress, and that I've been developing, through this orientation to meditation, that I'm, bringing in this online retreat. It's it it enables me to be with myself for longer, and actually be nourished by these sensations that previously I would have struggled to be with without realizing it, and without fully realizing it, and actually getting a sense that I'm being taken on a real journey of myself, and really seeing how much I'm in acceptance of who I am or what I am, and how much, in a very human way, actually, how much I just like myself. And what's important to understand with that is, liking yourself is not just, it's not psychological, that's just the surface. So I think it's a worthy pursuit to kind of get our beliefs and our thinking aligned with, like, an acceptance of ourselves, or a liking of who we are. But actually, it's through meditation we can actually find out the reality of how much we like ourselves, in terms of how much we like how we actually feel. And that's really where the kind of rubber hits the road, because if we are still and sitting with ourselves as we really feel, and we're not okay with that, that actually shows on a deeper level we don't like our state and our experience. And what I'm finding through a very committed practice is that starts to evolve, and there's this deeper sense of liking or willingness to experience even the distressful sensations, and then paradoxically, the more there's a willingness there, that they no longer feel like distressing. It feels like an important embracing and reconnection, or so I wanted to share this for those who are thinking of exploring the meditation circling online retreat. It's going to be 5 days, so we can go really deep into the practice in that time. And I also want to we'll go in gradually, and get a lot of understanding of the process as we go, and the combination works really well, because the meditation is just very real. It's very coming into contact with ourselves, and then the circling is just so intimate and expansive, and it can challenge us to look at new parts of ourselves and show up with that. And then I find also meditation after circling is also really grounding, because it circling can often expand our energy and put us really in touch with the subtle experience. Subtle energy experiences, a lot of emotional energy. And then in meditation, I just find that I just come into a ground, and it actually seems to support in recovering, or recovering from the expansion of the circling, uh, to reduce what can sometimes almost be like a hangover from like really deep intimacy. Like it can almost affect us for a few days after, and I found with combining with meditation that really reduces that effect. Um, Although I think if you're circling in a very grounded way, um, not pushing yourself and following what's true, that will also, yeah, make sure you don't expand too far, or that it's not ultimately about expanding. It's about being in surrender and being in truth and honoring who we really are in each moment. I also just wanted to say a few practical things that for the event, I'm going to actually include an extra meditation period on days 2 to 5. So for those Europeans, there's gonna be an earlier 12 o'clock session, and it's okay if you've planned around that, because those sessions will be recorded, and even if you're not able to do them in the week, or you can't do them at that time, you can do them earlier or later. That would be fine. But because those sessions will be just the guided meditation, so it's not an interaction in those sessions. And for anyone abroad that the times don't quite work, I'm going to make sure we have options where you can come in a little later, and those sessions that you'll miss again can be recorded, and there'll be sessions where there isn't interactions, and because a strong part of the 5 days will be a coaching opportunity for you to really ask questions about your deeper process and the meditation or the circling. And obviously there'll be circling periods as well, so they're obviously much better to be in person than watching recordings. Recordings can still be rich, but I think it's much preferable you can be available for those. So we will be adaptable, and so for anyone that's concerned about the timings, I think we can adapt really well. And I saw this in person in Estonia, that it works very well doing it this way. And the other thing I'm gonna also add into the schedule is periods of embodiment practice to also support us with sitting in stillness, and then the circling. That's going to bring a lot of depth and exploration, but I think it can really support the process to have some periods of exploring our embodied movement and expression, and so I'll be adding that in as well. So I hope that's clarified more of the intention of this training. I'm very much looking forward to the 5 days, and just having done a retreat, that the importance of having a bit longer time to deepen in, even when I'm meditating, sometimes 2 to 4 hours a day in my daily life, the effects of daily life are so intense. Just seeing that so much, having just returned, that it's really difficult to start to go to those deeper, more delicate processes, because actually, like, since I've been home, just meditating to kind of integrate just my daily life with my family and my work, and just the rough and tumble, often find that an hour or two meditation is kind of just helping me ground after that, which is wonderful, really good for helping me sleep and be grounded in my day. But then when we have these longer periods, like 5 days, we can really start to go into deeper processes that are really wanting to come into awareness and attention, and to have more space to integrate. And it can really deepen our understanding of how we really are within us. So I really do recommend these periods if you can make the time available. It can be very supportive. So thanks a lot, and hope to see some of you in a few weeks.